Hello, fifth grade. Today we are going to do math, page 255 through 256, which is converting measures for a perimeter. First, I want to go ahead and remind you of what perimeter is. Perimeter is the distance around a polygon. So if I wanted to know the distance around this hexagon, I would have to add up all the sides, right? That would equal my perimeter. With my rectangle, we use an equation, P equals 2 times length plus 2 times width. So we plug in our 12 and 8 into our equation where length and width are. We work out our numbers and we end up getting our perimeter. Same thing goes for our square. Okay, our square also has a equation, but this equation is different. It's P equals 4 times S, meaning side, because a square has 4 equal sides. So we want to go ahead and multiply one side, meaning the side that we have the information from, multiply it by 4, and then we can go ahead and work out our problem to get our perimeter. So that is perimeter for our hexagon, our rectangle, and our square. Now going forward, we need to know that so that we can do our converting of measurements. Now don't forget, converting of measurements is when you're taking two measurements that are different and you're somehow changing one or converting one to make it have the same unit measurement as the other item. So let's go ahead and do one together. This is not in your book yet. Okay, this was mine in my book. It says, the basketball player might be 6 feet 10 inches tall. So we have 6 feet 10 inches, right? Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to convert this because we want to know how many feet tall is he, okay? Just feet. No inches. So with this, we have to convert the inches. Well, if I were to do my 1, 2, and 3, we would know how to convert. I want to go smaller to larger, so I'm going to divide. And I know that there are 12 inches in a foot, so then I would have 10 divided by 12. So 10 divided by 12. That means that I now changed my 10 inches into 10/12 of a foot. Obviously, I can reduce that by dividing by 2, which gives me 5/6. So he is 6 feet and 6 5/6 feet tall. That was converting. If we were going to go ahead and do 1A, we're going to do the same thing we just did with basketball. So now instead we have a rectangle. And now what we're trying to do is we say we have 7 feet, 3 inches of a rectangle, okay, by 8 feet is what it's saying, okay? What that means is that this would be 8 feet and this would be 7 feet, 3 inches. Well, we need to go ahead and convert this inches into feet. So we're going to do the same thing by doing our 1, 2, 3, and we know that we're going from smaller to larger. We divide, right? And we have 12 inches in a foot, so we would have 3/12 of a foot, or we could reduce it by dividing by 3, which gives me 1/4, right? Okay. Now with that, we now have to do our perimeter equation. P equals 2 times L plus 2 times width. So L is 8, P equals 2 times 8 plus 2 times 7 feet, 7 1/4 feet, 7 1/4 feet. Okay, now we work out that equation knowing that P equals 16 plus, and if we did our multiplication right, we would do 2 times 7 1/4. We'd have to convert this to 2/1, and then we'd have to complete our mixed number, change our mixed number to an improper fraction. We'd get 29 over 4. We would then cross cancel, and we would go ahead and do 1 times 29 is 29. 1 times 2 is 2. And when I divide that back in, I know 2 goes into 1 time. 2 goes into 9 4 times. I would have 1 left over because that would be 8, and then that would be 14 and 1/2. So then I would have 2 times 14 and 1/2 would be my width. Because I now have 2 times 14 and 1/2, I still have to do the same thing by going ahead and, I'm sorry. No, that was 14 and 1/2. What did I do wrong? I know, y'all caught me. Good job. Okay. I just did that over here, 2 times 7 and 1/4, so I have 14 and 1/2. So now I can add that up. I make mistakes too, it's okay. I'm glad if you caught it, I'm glad you caught it. So 16 plus 14 would then be P equals 30, right? 30 and 1/2 feet. That would be the perimeter of the rectangle that has 7 feet, 3 inches by 8 feet. Now, I know that seems like a lot of steps, but really these are all the same steps you guys have been doing. So yes, you could probably do some of this in your head, but I was trying to work that out for you just on the board so you could see. So let's go ahead and try another one. Now, I know that seems like a lot of steps, but really these are all the same steps you guys have been doing. So yes, you could probably do some of this in your head, but I was trying to work that out for you just on the board so you could see. So let's go ahead and try another one. Okay, so now we have 1B, and that is 2 yards and 1 foot by 3 yards. So remember, we are going to change this to yards, which means this 1 foot has to change to yards. So we would do 1, 2, and 3, and we would know that we're going from feet to yards, so smaller to larger, we divide, and we know that we have 3 feet in a yard, and we also have so we would have 1 over 3 for 1 foot divided by 3 feet, okay? So this is what we would do first to convert. Next, we go ahead and we plug it in. P equals 2 times L plus 2 times W, right? And we're going to plug it in, okay? So we have P equals 2 times 3, because that's our longest length, and we have 2 1/3 yards. So 2 times 2 1/3 yards, right? Got it? Okay, now we have to go ahead and multiply. So first we go ahead and write P equals 2 times 3 is 6 plus, and we have to figure this one out, which is 2 times 2 1/3. Then we would go ahead and change this so that we can multiply. So 2 over 1 times 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7 over 3. Can we go ahead and cross cancel here? No, we can't. So 2 times 7 is 14, and 1 times 3 is 3. We then go ahead and divide 3 into 14, which would be 4 times, and that would be 12. 4 times 2 is 12, so that would be 2 over 3 left. That is what we would do to fix that. So this would be 4 2/3 here. Okay. Then our next step is to go ahead and add them up, which would be 10 2/3 yards is the perimeter of this rectangle. Okay, now that we have done 1A and 1B, it is up to you guys to go ahead and do 1C. If you have any questions, give me a call or a text or Blooms or anything like that, and let's go ahead and continue on to the next one.